Well, we're here to talk about us transitioning into the next season as a church. The whole Stones thing is we're moving from church being a building to an identity, from an event to who we are, to an identity piece. And so, for many people, church is either an event or it's a method. We know how to do church. You hear people say that. Or it's a building, something you go to, when we know that it is the called out ones. Church is the ecclesia of God, is those who have been called out, okay, for His purposes. And we feel that we have endeavored to become in Acts 2, in Ephesians 4 church, a church that walks in power, a church that walks in the patterns of God. But in some ways, our name is now in the way. 35 years ago, the name Christian Life Center was sort of revolutionary. It was sort of a move away from denominations. It was a move away from the way people saw church, and so we did things differently. But our difference is not just in our methods. Our difference is in how we see ourselves and who we are. And so we feel the name Stones actually completes the change, completes the transition from the typical way Americans see church to a biblical view of the church. Every stone is different. And what makes a stone what it is this history, okay? It came out of something, but it went through something. And so it says a tried stone, which means it's been weathered, it's been through some things, and that has given it part of its unique shape, okay? And so for a stone, you have to find its place or you have to make a place for it. See, and so we believe both. We believe that God has made a place for every person. Jesus said it in John chapter 14, I go to make a place for you. And we know that he was talking about a place in the spirit, a place of sonship, but I believe there's also a unique place of function as a son that he makes for us that nobody else can fit in. And so he's made a place, and it's up to us not to decide our place, but to discern our place.
Yes.
Many people choose churches based on what they have in common with people right now, whereas we base our connections on destiny, that we have a common destiny. We come from all different kinds of backgrounds. We have several different ethnicities in our church, or nationalities, all different kinds of classes, educational backgrounds. Many were Christians before, so we have people from just about every denomination. And so it's not where we come from, but it's where we're going that we have in common. And it's how we see the kingdom, it's how we see the word, it's how our thinking has been shaped by God. That's what we have in common. And so a Stone's mindset is basically really three simple things, and that is, and one is that everything we see is changeable. Everything that you can observe with your senses can be changed, okay? Secondly is that all significant, lasting change comes from God's power. He's the source. We are not the source. This is not mind power. This is not mind over matter. He is the source of our power. And so that's why his word is so important to us. So that's the second thing, is that our dependency is upon him. We look to him as our power. Thirdly, as part of our mindset, is that, and this is the part that could be actually controversial, okay, is that we see ourselves as the primary instrument of change in our world. And it's not that we take ourselves so serious. It's just that from a sense of responsibility, I'm not waiting for somebody else to do something. I'm not waiting for somebody else to come along. I'm going to initiate change. I'm going to take God's power. He said his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And so that's easy, okay? And so it's not that I lay aside the leading of the Spirit or the shepherding of the Lord, but I take what he says seriously. We're to live courageous. We're to live strong. We're to be a voice for those who are no voice. And so that's what a stone is. A stone is a change agent. And so Stones Church is a gathering of people who understand who they are, understand what they have are discerning their mission, are discerning their assignment, and going out and making a difference. Someone asked, okay, if you're trying to give a different image of church, then why are you using the word church? And I think it's because church is the best word. It's a Bible word. And so rather than drop church, which we did initially, okay, we just change how you see church. What is a Stones church? See? And so the name is not self-explanatory. The name actually provokes questions. The name provokes curiosity, and that gives us a chance to kind of tell our story, you know. And so it's meant to produce a bit of mystery, because, you know, you hear cornerstone, you hear living stone, but you don't hear just stones.
Right.
And so part of the whole Stones concept is that we are a love letter to the earth. We are an instrument of God's love in the earth, and to chase away the darkness, to spread the light. And that's who we are. We've been called out of whatever we were doing to be that. And so if you're a financial advisor, you're also a minister of light. You're a stone. You're running away darkness. If you're a doctor, if you're a teacher, you're a janitor. No matter what you do, it's actually secondary to what God called you to do.
Right.
And your vocation is now your platform for ministering the reconciliation of God, you know. So when we see in the Bible, bricks show up in Genesis 11 as a part of the birthing of a Babylonian system. Now, Babylonian system represents man's alternative to God's system. Man has always wanted to replace God. And so we believe God thinks in stones, that every person is valuable, every person is unique, every person is irreplaceable, okay? As opposed to bricks, which are uniform, look exactly alike, and are easily replaceable. So rather than a factory approach to discipleship, to spiritual formation, we take an agricultural approach. And that is, we want to provide the proper atmosphere, the proper soil, environment, climate, and for you to be whoever God designed you to be.